Salut Caro, bonjour. I hope you're in a good mood. So, welcome to your screencast. Well, I think it's your first screencast experience. So, super enthusiastic about this tool, right? But it has to be used wisely. So, let me show you some of the pros and cons this morning. Okay, so I don't want to take too long, right? Because one of the critical thing about screencasts is they have to be of the right duration. So if they're too long, then they're missing the target. If they're too short, they're also missing the target. So you have to be right, sequentially prepared and right on the money. Okay, let's go through the pros and cons. So I've created a small list. I'll introduce you to some of the pros and some of the cons. One of the pro is what you see right now. So it's capturing everything on the screen. So I'm just going to mask this little thing, right? So you just saw one of the negative part. It's very well, so what I said is like it's positive. Why? Because it's capturing everything I have on my screen. So it's giving you audio, it's giving you visual, and it's also giving you some kind of a hands-on twist to it, right? Support. So I really like that aspect of it. Okay, so I totally see a benefit for our learners and or new employees, for example, or anybody searching our pages, right? So as we could have small little capsule like this to help people and support. Okay, so another part of it is that you could navigate. So I'm navigating through my Outlook task right now because I will use this and I will do a demo on how to use task in Outlook. But you could also go to any other pages open or systems or software. In this case, you see I'm in Word, and I could also go into the web, the intranet, and navigate. Right. So let's go on one of the page here, and as you could see, I'm doing research on social media tools and resources right now because I wanted to be sure that we could actually use social medias. I knew they were used in some places, but I obviously need to familiarize myself with internal PSPC's policies. But anyway, so that's the one of the great features. Let's go back to my task in Outlook. Okay. So I just display the other page. So you go in Word, you could go in an org chart to demonstrate an org chart. You could go in PowerPoint. Many things could be done. It's also allowing you to organize things in a sequence. Obviously, you need to be very well prepared before you do a screencast. Because if you're not, it's going to show. It's capture. And if you're 10 minutes in, you're making a mistake, you need to go back. So that's actually one of the negatives. But it's also allowing you to organize yourself very neatly. Okay. As I mentioned, audio. So we have audio, you have visual, and you have what I call the hands-on twist approach to it. Okay. Negatives, I just talked about it. So, if, for example, I hover over my calendar, boop, pop-up comes up. So if I don't want to show a pop-up or an email pop-up, you need to make sure. So any pop-up or any notification will appear and be captured. So one of the negatives. I talk about length. So length has to, like I said, has to be on the money. So it's either positive or detrimental. If it's too long, missing the target. If it's too short, it's also missing the targets. It really has to be perfectly balanced, and you need to be able to be consistent, precise, concise, and very efficient in your communication. So right on the money, as I mentioned. Okay. Um, a negative one is all the background. So background noises, right? So obviously everything is captured through my little microphone. If my kids are talking or playing, or somebody's, passing by behind my screen, it's going to be captured. So it could have a detrimental effect. Uh, I talked about quality of the sound. I talked about background noise, but I need to talk about quality of sound. So image and sound. So the computer is the computer. So we could do some pretty good screencast capsules of decent quality. But for sound, I would require a better device than this little device. You need to have like a headset like the one that you own, okay? So something to consider going down the road. So that was it. I don't want to go be too long, but I wanted to give you a good overview, right? And now I'm going to go and create a task so that we kill two birds with one stone. Uh, but I'm not sure we're allowed to say that anymore. Anyway, so we live in this world. Okay, so now in the task, if I go and I want to show you how to use it. So remember, we talked about it yesterday in our meeting. So yesterday was Thursday. It's Friday for me today, and you're on your day off. You're on your compressed day. Uh, let's create that task. Let's show you how I would like to use it just to organize our priorities and tasks for the gateway. That's it. Again, I'm all for tools, but I find they have to be used precisely. They're not good for everything. So it's really good for this kind of task, redundant task, or it's good for yourself when you want to do follow up for your own task. But I wouldn't overuse this system. Okay, so let's just go quickly. So I go nouvelle tâche, and then I'm gonna write something simple, update the gateway, Stéphane, and okay, so that the so start date. So you need a start date. Let's say you would like me to start next Friday because you're a great boss and you want me to be busy on Friday. And then you have an end date, okay? And then so you would like me to complete by no later than the 14th of May, okay? I could you so it's hasn't been started, so eventually I will update this information and you will be getting notification of my status, okay? Priorities, obviously, if it's a high level, then I will reprioritize my task, and this is where I would write you a blurb and say, hey, by the way, I think I need to push this one for later because it's not a priority and this one is more of a priority. And I could give you a percentage of where I'm at. So that's another great feature of the task, by the way. Uh, for pour rappel, you cannot use it. So if you task me with it, you will not be able. So don't do that part. I would do it as the owner. So once you task me with the task, I become the owner of the task, and then I could set a reminder to myself, so you wouldn't have to play with that at all. Okay, and then you go affecter tâche, and let's say I go Caroline, and then I would push envoyer, so send, and you will receive the task. And once you do some modification here, I would get notification when it's completed, right? You press complete on the task. Okay. And I will, and so in this case, so if you're tasking me with something and I press complete, you would get the notification. And also another great feature, and let me close this window. Non, je veux pas enregistrer. It's doing this thing here. So I could check my task as they are completed, right? So I have a few here that are, so this form has to be signed. I don't have access to my PDF. Anyway, so just a few small examples. So that was my little presentation. I hope you'll be that you see some benefits and that you are as enthusiastic as I am. As I mentioned, it's not c'est pas une potion magique, right? It's not nothing magical. It has to be used wisely. But I'm also happy that I was able to identify this morning that we could actually use YouTube, and even a better news is that PSPC has their own channel, so we would be able to basically upload our videos on their channel. I don't know if we need to be private or not. This is kind of an open information accessible to everybody, but I don't know. We'll talk about that. That will conclude. Another thing I could show is that I can shut my face if I want to, and I could go in the windows, and there's things here, that I could use. As you could see, I could put some nice little faces here and there. I am the cool guy, and I always do get 100% on everything I do. Okay, you could clear the screen. You could there's multiple little tools that could be so useful, right? So anyway, that is concluding my presentation. I hope you like it. I hope it's not too long. I know you have enough to create your own opinion about the tool, and we could discuss furthermore. And again, I hope you're enthusiastic and you like the idea. Bye.